Hello, America. Hillary Clinton is going to keep America safe. Boy, is she ever. Well, she can't keep herself safe. She had the Orlando shooter's father directly behind her. Didn't know it was the Orlando shooter's father. By the way, it's just not just the Orlando shooter's father. She was talking about how everybody needed to come together, and we're still grieving in Orlando. This is the guy who ran for president of, what was it, Afghanistan? Yeah, Afghanistan, who was praising the Taliban. So if she can't keep her own little campaign event safe, how could she possibly keep America safe? We begin there right now. Hello, America, and welcome to the Glenn Beck program. So glad that you are here today. This is an amazing story out of Florida. Hillary Clinton spoke to a crowd in Kissimmee, just south of Orlando. She was supposed to be talking about jobs, but started the speech off by paying tribute to those affected by the Pulse nightclub shooting. Quote, "I know how many people, families, loved ones, and friends are still grieving and will be with you as you rebuild your lives." WPTV happened to notice a man who had a mustache and was wearing a red hat directly behind Clinton. Can we see if we can find that picture and put it up on the screen? Because it's a pretty amazing, like when we say right behind Clinton, we mean right behind Clinton.
Right, like the point in a political rally of the part of the audience that you see on camera, and they specifically line up people to represent the community and make them look like they have diverse followers. Like it's in that behind, like where this camera's in front of Clinton, he was sitting behind Clinton. I mean, it's an unbelievable story.
Okay, so this is Sadiq Mateen, the father of the Orlando mass shooter, Omar Mateen. News Channel 5 in Orlando asked Mateen, "Well, I'm cooperating with the federal government, and that's about it. Thank you." He didn't want to answer any other questions. Hours later, they ran into him by chance at a rest stop on the way back to West Palm Beach. He wanted to do an interview and show us the sign he made for Clinton. Sign said Hillary Clinton is good for the United States versus Donald Trump, who has no solutions.
Catchy sign, too.
Yes.
By the way, he's
Yes.
a sign maker, obviously.
I believe it also said Hillary Clinton is good for national security.
Did it?
Oh, really?
He said, I spoke about the Pulse nightclub shooting a lot. I just wish my son would have joined the army and fought ISIS. That would have been much better.
Yeah, instead of fighting for ISIS, killing Americans, that would have been better.
Well, seeing that, I mean,
better.
It's. I mean, I don't know how to feel about Dad. He has done pro-Taliban, anti-American videos.
Right.
In fact, he did one after the shooting. I mean, I don't think this is a good thing for Hillary Clinton by any stretch of the imagination. Now, the question
people
is,
will say, well, he wasn't the shooter. No, but he raised the shooter. He ran for president of Afghanistan. He said anti-American things. He has supported the Taliban. You don't take a chance like that, do you?
And it's not that, I mean, look, there's lots of people that, unfortunately have raised very bad kids. It's not necessarily a reflection on the parents. There's a lot of people who are bad parents who have raised good kids. The sins of the father or the sins of the son don't go the opposite way. However, this guy is pro-Taliban. This guy is anti-American. So now we have him behind. Can you imagine if a clan, grand wizard of a clan, was sitting behind Donald Trump? Oh, you imagine what the media would do. Here's a guy who has made anti-American videos, who is pro-Taliban, and his son was a mass shooter in Orlando against homosexuals, sitting directly behind the candidate. Have you heard this story yet? Have you seen this story anywhere? It happened yesterday. The news the news is so in the bag for Hillary Clinton, and it's expected. It's expected. But if it wasn't for talk radio and the internet, you wouldn't know this stuff. And local news. Local news is still reporting actual stories. Finally asked if he thought some people would be surprised to see him there. He said, why should they be surprised? I love the United States. I've been living here a long time. Well, okay, for a couple of reasons. You did run for the presidency of Afghanistan. Hate to point it out yet again. You have made an anti-American video after your son shot Americans. Oh, and by the way, you've made pro-Taliban videos. Oh, and by the way, she is a presidential candidate, and no one is doing any kind of vetting. The Secret Service, they're not knowing who's sitting directly behind.
Yeah. Because, I mean, obviously it's terrible optics, as we would say, terrible PR, ridiculous mistake for the campaign to make. But bigger than that, this is a presidential candidate who, I mean, you're letting the person who is, as you said, ran for president of Afghanistan on a pro-Taliban plank, whose son shot 50 people. What?
We were at war with,
right?
By the way,
shot 50 people in a nightclub down the street. And you're letting them into the rally behind the presidential candidate? I mean, that is terrible. On that level is the biggest one. What an incredible security lapse. And obvious incompetence by the campaign. And she employs like 6,000 people. I don't understand why this is a problem.
It's amazing. And I'll bet you he was selected to sit there.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you...
Hey, let's get a guy who looks Middle Eastern in the mix, too.
Yeah.
We've got to have
I'll bet
diversity.
I'll bet you that's...
The diversity, of course. A lot of diversity.
What does his hat say? Can we look at the hat? Because he was wearing a red hat with white writing on it. It didn't say, let's make America great again.
I thought the same thing. It was a red hat.
Yeah, red hat. I mean, no, it doesn't have a logo on it.
Like a John Deere tat or something.
Deere is
I don't imagine the guy who is running for, president of the Taliban was wearing a John Deere hat, but maybe it's just me.
Would have been funny, though, right?